Welcome to Art Walk with Cassie.
When people think of Istanbul, they usually picture mosque domes, the wind over the Bosphorus, the legends of Topkapı Palace, or the fading imperial grandeur of Dolmabahçe. But this time, what stopped me was neither a dome nor a chandelier. It was a group of paintings. I visited the National Palace's Painting Museum, part of the Dolmabahçe Palace complex, in what was once the residence of the Crown Prince. The museum holds an unusually revealing slice of late Ottoman visual history. Its collection focuses on Ottoman court art from the 19th to early 20th century, and includes artists such as Osman Hamdi Bey, Şeker Ahmed Pasha, and Hoca Ali Rıza, alongside European painters like Aivazovsky and Zonaro. Among the highlights are Aivazovsky's seascapes and Zonaro's historical and court scenes. What makes this museum so fascinating is the question it quietly answers. When the Ottoman Empire entered its final phase, how did it learn to paint itself in the language of Western oil painting without becoming entirely Western? If I had to sum up the collection in one sentence, I'd say this. It shows the late Ottoman transition from traditional courtly visual culture to modern European-style painting. As you walk through it, three kinds of works appear again and again. First, portraits of the court and upper classes. These clearly adopt a European oil painting vocabulary. The figures have volume, they occupy space, their clothes feel tangible, and their poses are carefully designed to express identity and rank. These are no longer miniature-style figures pinned flat to a page. They are much closer to the modern portrait, where a person is not just recorded but presented. Second, landscapes and urban scenes. Streets of Istanbul, views of the strait, courtyards, harbors, trees, and sky. These matter because they show that late Ottoman painting was no longer concerned only with courtly narrative. It had begun to look seriously at lived space, at the city itself, as something to be seen, inhabited, and remembered. The empire was not just a political structure, it was a world you could walk through. Third, still lifes and interiors. Fruit bowls, vases, textiles, furniture, table objects. Now, still life in European art can sometimes feel like a performance of confidence. Look at these grapes, so convincing you might commit petty theft. But in these late Ottoman works, the mood is different. They are lighter, quieter, less eager to impress. They seem to say, please, sit, please look. This is a way of living and a way of arranging beauty. And the longer you look, the clearer a shared style becomes. These paintings are already very Western in technique. They use oil paint, understand perspective, value realism, no anatomy, and no space. And yet they do not fully enter that dramatic world of heavy shadows, bold contrasts, and forceful modeling that we associate with classical European painting. Standing before them, I kept thinking, yes, they are speaking the grammar of Western oil painting, but in a very different tone of voice. If we know Renaissance and Baroque art, Caravaggio, Rembrandt, the Spanish Golden Age, Dutch still life, we are used to a very assertive visual logic. Light breaks in, darkness presses down, objects become solid bodies, faces emerge from shadow, metal flashes, fruit practically announces its own ripeness. It is painting with great physical weight and dramatic confidence. But many of the late Ottoman works in this museum are not like that. Their light is gentler, their contrasts are softer, their darks do not thunder, their highlights do not shout. Figures are not wrestled out of darkness by fate, as they often seem to be in Baroque painting. Still lifes do not sit on the table with the dense gravity of the Dutch school. Instead, many of these images feel light, still, thin, and distant. Less like drama than recollection. Less like reality is here than reality just passed through a dream. Even the still lifes work this way. Objects that European painters often use to show off texture and mass are handled here with restraint. They seem less carved into visibility than looked at with tenderness. So why is that? Because although late Ottoman painters adopted the form of Western oil painting, they did not inherit the whole classical European tradition of strong light, strong shadow, strong volume, and strong drama. What they developed instead was a distinctive hybrid language. First, the Ottoman encounter with Western painting happened mainly in the 19th century. That means the model was not the raw immediacy of Renaissance and Baroque art, but a European painting culture already filtered through 19th century academic training and salon taste. More polished, more restrained, more elegant, less interested in heavenly explosions of light and destiny. So yes, compared with Caravaggio, the chiaroscuro may seem mild, but that is beside the point. These painters were never trying to become Caravaggio in a fez. They were learning oil painting without signing up to be a thunderbolt across a church ceiling. Second, older local traditions did not simply disappear. Ottoman pictorial culture, especially miniature painting, placed less emphasis on modeling through light and shadow, and more on line, color, order, ornament, and narration. Its space was flatter. Its objects did not need to swell into full sculptural mass. So even when Ottoman painters began working in oil on canvas, their way of seeing still carried traces of those earlier habits. They observed objects, yes, but they also arranged them. They pursued truth, but not always weight. They adopted Western technique, but kept a taste for clarity, balance, and restraint. That is why these pictures often feel faintly dreamlike, not because they leave reality behind, but because they make reality just a shade lighter. Put simply, they learned the foreign language of Western oil painting, but they never lost their native accent. Subject matter also matters. In classical European art, strong chiaroscuro often serves religion, history, and high drama. That light is not just lighting, it is theology with stage effects. But late Ottoman painting is often dealing with portraits, interiors, courtyards, cityscapes, and the Bosphorus. These works are not trying to astonish you, save your soul, or announce the end of the world. They are trying to create an image that is civilized, elegant, and modern. You could even call it the aesthetic posture of a late empire. The world is changing, order is loosening, but the image must keep its composure. Even a vase must behave with dignity. Even the light over the Bosphorus must avoid making a scene. So this softness is not a failure of skill. It may be a deliberate choice. And that, for me, is the enchantment of these paintings. They are neither traditional miniatures nor pure Baroque. They belong wholly neither to the old Ottoman world nor to the new European one. They stand in between, in transition, in suspension, in that last drifting wind of empire.
So much for today. I'm so glad you could make it. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.